Get you some. Oh yeah. Mate, it's lucky she can cook. Wow. G'day lovelies, welcome back. Alright, today we are making classic rock cakes. I absolutely used to love these as a kid. First thing we want to do is preheat our ovens to 190 degrees Celsius. We want to grab out at least one baking tray with some baking paper. I will write the recipe below as always. First of all, what we need is 1.5 cups of self-raising flour and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So what I like to do is put the 1 cup of flour in first, and then the 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and then the other 1/2 cup of flour. I just think it helps mix the baking powder in properly and it doesn't get stuck as the last thing in there. Alright, and we'll sift them through. Now, over the years, I've added these next two to it. So if you do not like cinnamon or mixed spice, you do not have to add them. But if you like them, definitely add them. So we want 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon and we want 1/2 teaspoon of mixed spice. Now we just want to get a spoon and mix them through. Once we've mixed them through, we want to get 125 grams of chopped butter. We want to put it in there, and then with our fingertips, we want to squeeze it all into the flour. Once we've done that, our flour looks like this. Set it aside for a minute. Into a small bowl, we want 2 tablespoons of milk, 1 egg, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then with a fork, we just want to whisk it together. Now we want 1.5 cups of whatever you want. So today I'm using 1 cup of sultanas and 1/2 cup of flaked almonds because that's what I've got. But you can use any dried fruit, any nuts, and any chocolate. So if you want, you can do 1/2 cup of dried fruit, 1/2 cup of chopped up chocolate or chopped chips, and 1/2 cup of whatever nut you want. So say for the fruit, if you're using something like dates, like sometimes I'll make date and walnut ones. With the dates, you want to cut them up to the same size as sultanas, alright? So whatever you've got, cut it up to roughly the size of sultanas. So you could have 1/2 cup of dates, you could have 1/2 cup of walnuts chopped up, and then you could have 1/2 cup of chocolate. Sometimes I like doing apricot ones, so I'll do 1/2 cup of dried apricots chopped up small, 1/2 cup of roasted almonds chopped up small, and 1/2 cup of white chocolate chopped up small. So you can mix and match any way you want, as long as it's 1.5 cups of whatever you decide, which I absolutely love that. And we need 1/2 cup of caster sugar and a little bit of extra to sprinkle on top. Okay, into our flour and butter, we want to put our 1/2 cup of caster sugar, our 1.5 cups of whatever we've decided, and then mix them through. Once we've done that, we add our milk and egg mixture, and then we stir that all through. Alright, once we've mixed that all through properly and everything is wet, we want to grab our tray with our baking paper, a tablespoon measurement and a teaspoon. Now with our tablespoon measurement, we want to get heaped tablespoons. Alright, so like that. Then get our teaspoon and scrape it into a ball onto your tray, and we want to leave it nice and rough and high, like don't flatten them down, and leave a little bit of a gap between them. Once we've got our first lot ready, we want to get a little bit of caster sugar and sprinkle it over the top of them. The caster sugar is also an option. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. As soon as our oven is up to temperature, bang them in there. Oh yeah, baby, it smells freaking amazing in here. Alright, 15 minutes later in my plain electric oven. Oh man, we got ourselves some old school rock cakes. Okay, if you've got a cooling tray, awesome. You'll need it for this one. Now, if you don't, either way, we're going to do this anyway, is that you just want to get your paper and just drag them out. Now, we need to, whether you've got it on a cooling rack or on a bench, we needed to leave them sit there for a couple of minutes to harden up first. As soon as they start to harden up, if you've got a cooling rack, you can just grab your paper and just slide them all off onto the cooling rack. Now, if you don't have a cooling rack, you just put this onto a bench somewhere. Leave it for 10 minutes, and then after 10 minutes, when they've started to cool down, 10 minutes exactly, you want to grab them and turn them all over. and let them cool down that last little bit turned over, and then the bottoms won't go soggy. Oh yeah, baby. Today we made 17 of these bad boys. Let's break one open. Make sure I'm in view. I hope you can see that. Friggin' yum. Crunchy on the outside, soft and cakey on the inside. Alright, best way to store them is either in an airtight container at room temperature, and I love putting them in tins at room temperature. If all goes well, I'm going to do my other classic rock cake next, which is the crunchy cornflake rock cake. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourselves an awesome day, and I'll see you all really soon. Toodles.